I'm having a hard time seeing. It doesn't look like it. They might pop on, and then we can do quick introductions, but I'll go ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of everyone's time tonight. So we're going to jump into our presentation, and just some housekeeping before I get started. If you're not speaking, keep yourself on mute. And if you have a question, you can either use the raise hand function and we'll call on you, or you can type a question in the chat, and Flora will be minding the chat and can help answer any questions as they come along. And then this is being live streamed, so please don't share any of your personal information because we're going to be uploading this onto our YouTube for folks who can't be here tonight. So that kind of goes for all the time, but no overly sharing your bank information, anything too personal for yourselves, just for your own best interest. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Let's see here. Okay, so before I jump into the presentation, I just want to point out 2 housing resources that I recommend. Commonwealth Catholic Charities is an organization we work closely with that can help with credit counseling or other home ownership counseling at no cost. And they are a great resource if you want to build up your credit or anything like that. And then the Housing Resource Line is a phone line that you can call that has a number of housing related resources, more for like emergency housing situations, but any kind of reference. They're a Richmond local housing resource line and great resource. So here's our agenda for tonight. We're gonna jump right into what a community land trust is, who's eligible, what are the benefits of our program. Then we're gonna jump right into understanding our ground lease and our resale formula and how CLT homeownership is different from conventional homeownership. And then we're going to go over the application process and answer any questions you have about applying to the program. But first, we're going to take a quick poll to see who is on the call tonight. So Flora is going to set us a poll that will pop up that will give us a sense of who's on the call.
And if you can't see the poll for whatever reason, don't worry about it. It's not required. It's just to help us understand who our audience is tonight. Okay, I think we got everybody.
Cool.
So we got a lot of people here interested in purchasing a home. That's very exciting. A realtor, some interested citizens, and a few people who are fellow housers. So awesome. Good to see everybody here.
Great. So next I kind of want to gauge what excites you about home ownership. And this is meant to be a little interactive, so you can come off mute and just tell us what excites you, or pop it in the chat. But we just want to hear from you what excites you about home ownership. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shamira. I'm from New Jersey, and what excites me about home ownership is being able to provide a stable place for my 2 young boys to grow up and to give them a foundation.
Yeah.
And to do something new, you know? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Let's see. Just getting the chat. Yeah, no more moving, stability and more space, a foundation, an independent space. something to call your own. Yeah, those are awesome. Oh, Sylvia, do you want to share?
Yes. I would have to say, like, from renting process of me renting a lot of properties, when you live in like a lot of rent properties, a lot of landlords, they'll be like, you're living at home for like a year. And then you know how most units be like, well, do you want to resign and stay here? And then you'll be like, yeah. But then before that year end, they end up putting you out. Like, I
Right.
to own your own home because you don't have to pay nobody else more than your own.
Stability.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. Is there anything else in the chat, Flora? I'm having a hard time seeing.
Yeah, some not paying rent, owning your own place, having it be something that's yourself. Yeah, that's very true. All very true. As someone who is still is renting for the, I don't know, 8th consecutive year, probably. It's I'm looking forward to getting out of it.
Yes. And then with that, the flip side, there can be nerves and anxiety about home ownership. Is there anything that makes you nervous, afraid, hesitant? What are some of those anxieties that come up when thinking about purchasing your home?
The current status of the market.
Definitely. Definitely. Sylvia and Shamira, you both have your hands up.
Okay. I will have. Oh, go ahead. Go.
Oh, go ahead, Sylvia. No problem, honey.
I would have to say like credit, income. Like you can have the credit, but then they look at the income, or you can have the credit but income. So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So it's like when if you don't have either or, you can have one or the other, and they still would deny you. So it's like that would be the issue for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. Shamira, what did you have to say?
I was going to say what makes me nervous or afraid is unfamiliar territory. Because I rented since I was 27 years old, so it's about almost 20 years. And owning a home, it's exciting, but it's nervous. It's like, you know, make you a nervous wreck or a little afraid. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and some people in the chat are saying the credit and down payment, like you said, Sylvia, and keeping the house up to date and all fixed when things break.
Yeah.
The limited, not being able to find a house in the place you want to move to in the like specific neighborhoods or something. The high interest rates, definitely. Being a full-time student and not and yeah, I definitely get that. The way the prices have been increasing, the maintenance, finding a house in the place you want, and the way that the market is going and everything. Lack of education, lack of information about how homeownership works. That's definitely something we can help with.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all really good. Thank you guys.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll address some of these tonight and help ease some of those nerves. Okay, so I'm going to start the meat of our presentation by honoring our namesake, who is Maggie Lena Walker. Maggie Walker was the first Black woman to establish a bank and the first to serve as president of a bank in the US. Not only was she an amazing businesswoman, but she lifted the community with her. She empowered Black families and created opportunities for them to have stability and economic mobility. She was innovative and a visionary leader. She not only had impact and created opportunities for her community, but she made intergenerational wealth investments. So she paved the way not only for Black business owners and community leaders, but for Black women at the time who were not deemed worthy of having a seat at the table. And she's from Richmond, Virginia. That doesn't say that, but she has her roots in Jackson Ward in Richmond. So you probably know about our work through permanently affordable home ownership, but we also operate the Richmond Land Bank. So the Richmond Land Bank is a program of the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. And what the land bank does is it returns vacant and tax delinquent properties into strategic community uses. So a lot of our properties where we build homes were formerly vacant lots that were from the city gifted to us that we were putting back to productive use, in most cases for affordable home ownership, but all sorts of community benefits like green space, historic preservation, things like that are some of the projects that we have going on with the Richmond Land Bank. So what is a community land trust? I'm going to start by, again, giving the history of CLTs. So the first community land trust in the US was a grassroots movement that evolved out of the civil rights movement. In Albany, Georgia, Black citizens who were sharecroppers were getting kicked out of their houses if their landlords found out that they'd registered to vote. So a lot of Black activists in Albany, Georgia came together, bought a large farm, and the intention was to farm the land together, but everyone owned their own house, but shared the land underneath the home. And that's kind of like a very brief story of New Communities, Inc. But it is important to elevate this history and to honor it as community land trusts are kind of growing in popularity. We want to honor the racial, economic, and environmental justice past and show how Black-led organizations from the 1960s are really leading the way forward. And that's kind of how this movement started. So Community Land Trust is a nonprofit community-based organization that's designed to ensure community stewardship of land. So community land trusts can be used for many types of land use. Primarily, we use it for affordable housing, but it can be for environmental conservation, commercial retail space. But how it works is the trust acquires land and we maintain ownership of it permanently and then keep the home affordable for future buyers. So this is a quick little overview, but this graphic kind of shows how you buy a home when you buy a home on the conventional market, you are just purchasing the house, but you don't really think about it, you're purchasing the land as well. But with the CLT home, you do purchase the house, and that's at a subsidized rate. Some of the most affordable houses in the Richmond area, but the land itself remains in the trust, and you lease the land through us. It's a $100 yearly fee. And then when it's time to sell your home, you're only selling the house, but the land is never sold. And so the next buyer has to meet certain income requirements and buys the house from you at an affordable price. And they're agreeing to the same resale structure that you did when you bought the house. So in perpetuity, the home will be sold to buyers that meet a certain income limit and make it permanently affordable for 100 years and hopefully more. So this is the CLT kind of values. CLT model is centered on racial equity, wealth generation, community control, collective decision making, and long-term stewardship of both community and land. The community land trusts are both a model and a movement. The land will be held by and for the community forever. And the land trust model balances the interests of the individual and the larger community. Let's look into some of the benefits of CLT homeownership. So this model really helps homeowners in several ways. So these are some of the most affordable houses that you'll find in the area, but they're not fixer-uppers. All of our houses are either recently constructed or newly rehabbed, and they're key turn ready. They have all new everything. They're some really nice homes built to a high standard. And we allow our homeowners to build wealth over time. So you'll earn wealth both through your monthly mortgage payment, and then by the way that the home increases in value, that's aligned with the wages instead of the market, which I'll get into in a little bit. And then the CLT model has all the other benefits of traditional homeownership. So you have a sense of ownership, pride, stability, and a quality home. And then they benefit the community by combating land loss and displacement, building community wealth, and strengthening community health and well-being. And they can also be used as tools to reduce real estate speculation and gentrification. So who might want to buy one of these homes? So to purchase one of these homes, you do have to be income qualified, and I'll get into that in the next slide. You have to agree to the terms of our ground lease, and you have to be pre-qualified with a lender who will lend specifically for a community land trust home. I'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about applications. And then you have to, you can't own any other home at the time of closing. So if you own a home currently, you'll just have to sell that home before you go under sale with a CLT home. So right here, this is our current income limits. And this is based on the number of people in your home when you purchase it. So we have two kind of programs, and this is based on funding and locality. So the 80% AMI program, I'd say that's the most common that we have. And that, for example, if you have two people in your family, you can't be making over $64,450. But then in the 115 program, those numbers are a little bit higher and serves more moderate income families. And so these are all based on HUD, and those numbers are determined annually, and they'll change on the April 1st of each year. So they're always kind of shifting around a bit. So here's a map of where we currently have homes. You can see the majority of our homes are in Richmond City, but we do have a few homes in Chesterfield and Eastern Henrico. And this is a map of what's existing now, but we do have some more homes and more developments kind of in this area. But right now, and for the time being, we're only in Chesterfield, Richmond City, and Henrico County. So how does the program work? So most of the program is shaped by the ground lease. I'll go over some basics of that. Click on my slide here. So the ground lease is a legal document that restricts the price that the home can be resold. That's really what gives the program its weight. So it ensures that the home remains affordable for at least 99 years. And that 99 years, that's intended to go beyond your life, and then that probably of your children. So that CLT home is fully inheritable. You can pass down your home regardless of your heir's income. And we offer wills and life planning documents. So we're always kind of supporting the home buyer and thinking about the longevity of you in the home, and long-term home ownership, stewarding long-term homeowners. If your heirs don't want to live in the house, they can sell it and get the same proceeds that you would have. And then the fee, mentioned this earlier. So you are leasing the land from us, and that fee is $100. So that's annually. You can be billed $25 4 times a year, or if you would like, you could pay that all at once. But that's the fee for to us as the land trust. And then a little bit about our board. What also is unique about the CLT model is that we're composed of 1/3 homeowners, 1/3 public members, and 1/3 community members. And we really encourage you, if you purchase a home through a program, to serve on our board. We really honor the voice of our current homeowners, and you can serve on a committee that advises the board as well. So that's a really big part of our program as well. So what's unique about our about CLT homeownership. So like I said earlier, this home must be your primary residence and you can't own any other home. So for example, if you meet someone and you decide to move in with them, that's great, but you can't continue to own your home. So you have to be living there throughout that time. And you cannot turn your MWCLT home into an investment property and rent it out. No Airbnb-ing your home. There are a few exceptions to having this be your primary residence, like if you are on military deployment or a family situation that requires you to be out of your home. But in those situations, you would need to get permission from our board. So all renovations must be approved by our board, and that's so you can do basic things in your house like painting, installing shelves, light fixtures, that sort of thing. But anything that requires a permit from your local jurisdiction, that would require approval from our board. And the reason that we do that is just to make sure that renovations are done well and safe for future homeowners. And then that they're going to best serve future homeowners as well. So just because you like something, a future homeowner might not want that. So we're trying to really ensure that it's beneficial for you, but then also down the line. And then you do build equity. So you build equity from your down payment, your monthly mortgage payment, and you do we'll go into examples of how you build equity in the following slides. But first, I'm going to take this opportunity to open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat or come off mute, and we will try and answer them.
Don't be shy. We have so much information to share.
Hello.
Hi there.
I have a question. This is Daniel. Maybe you'll get to it later, but I was wondering how taxes work and if the land lease affects how much you actually pay to the city of Richmond or Chesterfield or Henrico.
Do you want to answer this one, Flora?
Sure. We will get to taxes, to talk about taxes in a little bit. But something that I don't think we mentioned in the presentation is that the taxes you pay on the house are basically the locality can't tax you for more than you can sell the house for. So that means that in addition to the resale price being limited by the CLT model, the taxes you pay will also be limited by the CLT model. And as well, we do talk about this in the presentation, but MWCLT also serves as a land bank entity for all three jurisdictions. And that means that our land is tax exempt. So you also don't pay taxes on the land.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a second or later on, but thanks, Flora, for that explanation of that. Are there any questions in the chat?
Yes, talking about how do you determine if someone falls under the 80% AMI or 115% of AMI?
Yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit when we go over the application process, but we do an income calculation. So there's certain documents that you'll be required to submit as part of your application, and we calculate your income and then determine your eligibility based on those documents that you submit. Okay. If no one has any other questions, I can move on. Oh, I just saw that April joined. Hi, April.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone? Not to put you on the spot.
Hi, everyone. Let me turn on my camera really quick. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, I got it on. gallery view. So, but my name is April Ward. I am the homeowner engagement coordinator with Maggie Walker. So I'll be your point of contact after the closing process has happened, and any questions that you would have after everything is through and done, which in regards to things like the taxes and that sort, and resale that might come along. So I am glad to see you all here and hope that we can answer any questions that you have.
Thanks, April.
You're welcome.
There is one question in the chat. So with the $100 a year, land is never sold, but home is. When passing down the home, will it continue for the heirs? Or at that point, yes. So the home will continue to your heirs. I hope I'm answering the question.
And the land, the ground lease is also passed on to your heirs.
Yes, and so you do have the option to renew the ground lease at that point. So we will move on. If anyone has any other questions, you can just we'll have a few other opportunities to answer questions throughout the presentation, but I want to be respectful of everyone's Tuesday night, so we will move on. So I'm going to go in now to some more of the benefits of CLT home ownership. So looking at how it compares to renting. So as many of you already know, when you rent your home, you don't keep any of your rent payments. So this is a little chart that puts your monthly rent payments and multiply that by 24 months, which is 2 years, by the number of years that you're in your home. So we're going to look at paying $825 a month in rent. So this chart kind of shows like after 5 months, you've spent 5 years, you've spent $49,500 in rent. And that kind of continues on. So you don't get any of that back. However, with home ownership, you actually get to keep all of that equity that you earn by paying the loan principal with your monthly mortgage payments. And this chart here, this is an amortization schedule. So for the purpose of this example, we're going to look at a home that's purchased in January of 2019 for $145,000 with 3% down. Now, looking at this, those numbers aren't really what we're paying right now in 2022, but for the purpose of this example, you can see that after the first year, the total that you pay to the bank for your loan doesn't change, and you will pay the same amount every year. But what does change over time is what goes into principal and what goes into interest. So as you're paying down your principal, that's what you borrowed from the bank, things start to shift so that the money starts to go into principal and then less into interest. So, Sylvia, you have a question. Do you want to ask?
I raised my hand.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't mean.
Oh, there's two Sylvias. Well,
Okay.
we'll have an opportunity for questions in a little bit, but I'll continue along with the money stuff. So this chart shows just like how much by owning a home, what goes into principal, what goes into interest, and how that changes over time as you keep paying your monthly mortgage payments. And this works better for me. I'm not really a numbers person, so this is the same thing but in a graphic. It shows how your mortgage works. So the big blue box, that is what you're paying to the bank each year for your loan. And then in year 2, most of your money is going into interest, with about a quarter going into principal. However, by year 15, if you're still paying that same amount, half of it is going into your principal and about half of that going into interest. And then by year 25, assuming that you don't pay off any extra payments, most of your money is going towards your principal. So that's true for any mortgage, not just for CLTs. That shows how you, over time, it really pays off to own a home. And now we're going to go into a little bit about your escrow. So right now we've only been talking about what's being borrowed from the bank, but a significant portion of your monthly mortgage is your escrow, and that's what you have to pay for insurance and taxes, which is due typically every 6 months, and those can be quite a lot. So the bank wants to make sure that you're paying both your taxes and your insurance. So instead of paying you twice, that will be divided up into a monthly payment, and goes into your escrow account. And then that money is what is used to pay the insurance company and then the city and county that you live in. So this green box is your escrow. And it's important to note that while your loan payment to the bank doesn't change, your insurance and taxes can fluctuate. And that can make your payments go up and down from year to year, but it probably won't fluctuate as much as your rent would. Okay, so here's a good opportunity to pause and ask questions if you have any. I'll point out this is our very first CLT home. It's in Church Hill, a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home in the Church Hill neighborhood. Do you have any questions?
I have a question. So the homes you were saying that y'all have in Chesterfield, you say that y'all have a very big variety of there, but y'all do have homes in the area. Are they so much of like the Chester or North Chesterfield of Chesterfield?
So as far as the homes in Chesterfield, they are kind of spread out all throughout the county, is my understanding.
Okay.
We are in the process of beginning our Ettrick Landing development, which is our first subdivision. And that is close to Petersburg.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's in Ettrick. I can, if you have a
Typically,
second, I can share a map of where the houses are in Chesterfield.
Oh yeah.
that'd be great.
Would that be helpful? Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
One,
So as far as I know, I think Chesterfield's a pretty big county, and I think they're kind of scattered throughout.
Yeah.
Not
I see the one. I see the ones y'all had in Church Hill. They're very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We'll get more into specifics about the houses and questions related to that in a bit. But I want to see if there's if anyone has any questions specific to mortgage or monthly fees, taxes, anything like that.
can you pick your own location? Crystal, yes. You can, basically once you're approved, once you finish your application and everything, which we'll get to in a second, you're gonna get notified every time we have a new house anywhere in the area. And you can basically say, yes, I want that one, in which case there's a process for that. Or you can pass and say, no, I'll wait for one somewhere else. Or, you know, a lot of people have very specific needs, and they can, you know, wait for one that they want, or some people just want any home anywhere, and that's fine. Jessica, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Oops,
Oh, you just muted yourself. There you go. Oh, nope, you're muted again. Jessica, we can't hear you. You're muted again. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yes.
Yeah. Can we get like ceiling fans and stuff in the house?
Ceiling fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that does not require a building permit or permit from your local jurisdiction. So typically things that would require a permit include like taking down a wall or building a deck or an addition, something like that. But
Okay.
ceiling fans would definitely be something that if they don't already come with the home, it would be totally fine to add that.
Okay. I want ceiling fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a number of our homes have them. I haven't really
Yeah, you can, if your home, and if the home you get doesn't have them, you can add them. You can hang shelves, you can hang your TV, you can paint the walls. You can do
Okay.
all that
I want
kind
that.
of stuff.
Yeah, because I want my TVs on the wall instead of putting them on the dresser.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you can definitely do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, for my kids and stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And then Peggy asked, do the homes have a fenced backyard? The answer is a lot of them do, a lot of them don't. But if you get a home that doesn't have a fence, you can have a fence installed. That is
Okay.
definitely allowed. You can have alarms also. Yes, alarms are, you can install alarm systems. You can do all that
Mhm.
stuff.
I think some of them may have them depending on the area.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my partner's mom moved into one in Randolph, and it has an alarm system already in it, and she's putting up a fence right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Kiara, did you have a question?
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, with this program, are you able to stack this with other home buying assistant programs?
Definitely. So we encourage everyone to do that. A number of our applicants go through Housing Opportunities Made Equal, which is also known as HOME, for down payment assistance. We also have programs like with Southside Community Development, who offers certain grants and loans, and a really cool program called the VITA Match Program, which offers like for every certain amount of money you put down, they'll match, and it's kind of like a down payment savings program. And then any other program, we definitely encourage you to reach out to. Again, like any kind of credit counseling or homeownership counseling program. A number of our applicants will take advantage of those, and then often like assistance comes with that. So those are definitely a great way to access home ownership and to take advantage of those programs as well. So definitely we encourage that. Let's see. Shamira, do you have your hand up as well?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. When you mentioned the programs to Kiara Turner, I didn't hear you mention anything about maybe like a housing choice voucher, like Section 8. I know like they have like the home ownership buyer type something that you can like basically, and I'm not sure about it. So I just wanted to know, how does that work into this program with the Maggie Walker Foundation?
So typically, our like Section 8 would be for rental housing, and we do have in the past there's applicants that are on Section 8 housing and transitioning into homeownership, but we don't use vouchers for the home ownership process. But it's something that a lot of our applicants have and use, and then are in the process of going into traditional homeownership. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it kind of answers it. So basically I'm trying to figure it out. Basically they come in on the housing choice voucher, and then they like basically do they wean themselves off, like they get careers, and then they pay the total of, I guess, the $825 or the $1,000 out of their own pocket. Is that what you're saying?
Let's see. Well, I think like we don't accept vouchers into our program, but we're able to support you by like getting you ready for home ownership. So if that's through our homeownership counseling or like credit counseling, things like that, it really depends like on you and your personal situation. So I would just encourage you to, what are you gonna say?
Sorry, I was just gonna clarify that housing choice vouchers typically they only work for rentals. And this is actually like an actual traditional homeownership model where you own the home, you have a mortgage, so you can't use housing choice vouchers for that. But a lot of our homeowners used to be on housing choice vouchers when they were renting, is what you're trying to say, right, Elizabeth?
Yes, thanks, Laura.
Oh, okay. I get what you're basically saying. In the state of Virginia, you cannot use your housing choice voucher to pay your mortgage. See, in New Jersey,
yeah.
you can. Like basically,
Okay.
if you have the money to put down on a house, say a house is 20,000 and you have 10,000 and the bank, it will front you the other 10,000. You would then take your housing choice voucher and Section 8 would cover the mortgage until you own the home. So that's why I was just trying to clarify. So basically, you have tenants that come in on the housing choice voucher / Section 8, but they are flipping over. They're basically, turning over to pay rent on their own and not with the assistance of the government, basically. Right, Elizabeth?
Cool.
And Flora?
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That sounds like a really awesome thing in New Jersey.
Yeah,
I
it's
was going
okay.
to say, Shamira, right now, RHA, Central Virginia Resource Corp, and there's one more that I'm forgetting right now. The three main entities in Richmond that work with the Housing Choice Voucher Program. They're not using that system right now, but I will say that RHA is looking into that. But right now, it's not something that this program can offer because it's not even offered by the authorities that have vouchers in Richmond right now. But RHA is looking into using vouchers for home ownership. It's just not here yet.
Oh, okay, Candace. Okay, so I guess I would just have to take a chance, it's worth it, so I'll just keep listening and see what the requirements are. And I guess we'll go from there. Sorry for taking up a lot of time, guys.
No, you're fine. I learned something new. That's awesome. Hopefully we will have that soon. It seems like a great need for that, and an awesome program. Okay, and then there's a question about just the process from start to finish. We will go into that in the next section. So
and for I had the map pulled up if you want me to show where the specific actual houses are.
Is that in the chat?
Chesterfield. No, can I share my screen really quickly? Is that okay?
Yes. How do I have so many windows up right now. Did you take control?
Yeah, I took control.
Okay.
So if y'all can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So this is our map of where our houses are. The green ones are currently occupied. The dark red ones are under construction. The orange ones are in pre-development, which means we're still working on it. And then there are some other ones. Yeah, no, that's it. But if you see these green ones down here in Chesterfield, these are all of our Chesterfield homes. They're scattered all from like North Chesterfield all the way down toward Chester, and stuff like that. And then we have this nice little red, the dark red spot down there where the Ettrick Landing development is happening, which is right near Virginia State University.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, Elizabeth, you gotta have to share again. There you
Did that work?
go. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna go into taxes. So because Maggie Walker Community Land Trust is, we operate as the Richmond Land Bank, the land is tax exempt. And there's also state legislation that says that CLT homeowners cannot be taxed on the full market value of their home. They can only be taxed on what they can sell their home for according to the ground lease. So this is just another affordability feature, especially in high value real estate markets. So maintenance, you are responsible for the upkeep of your land. So even though you're leasing it, you still are responsible for mowing the lawn, taking care of dead trees, etc. And then you're also responsible for the upkeep of your home. So any kind of appliances, leaky roof, broken window, etc. And I will say that we are looking into like other sources and opportunities to help you if you're having a very hard time with these things, but it is your responsibility. But there are like other programs out there that can potentially assist if it's a very specific situation. So we are mindful of the costs associated with like major situations to your house. But let's see. So what happens when you sell your CLT home? So this part is where you're going to want to pay attention, because we talk a bit about our resale formula and what really happens when you go and sell your home. So when you go to sell your home, you are entitled to get back your cash equity. So that includes any down payment that you put on the home. You're entitled to your earned equity. So that's the loan principal that you pay off by making your monthly mortgage payments. That's what we went over in the last slide. So just by paying your monthly mortgage, you earn equity that way. And then you are also entitled to your home's increase in value. And that is based on the percent increase in the area median income while you own your home. We're going to go into that right now. So this is one of our homes in the Randolph neighborhood.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Your screen still saying has started screen share, so we can't see anything.
Oh, I can see it fine, Elizabeth. I think Sylvia, you might just be having a problem on your end. So if you can like try and hop out of the meeting and then join back in and see if that fixes it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it fine.
Everyone else can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll hop back into the resale formula here. So this is one of our homes in Randolph. This home appraised for $215,000, and we were able to sell it for $145,000, and that's just through the subsidies that we put towards this home. So the home buyer borrowed less, had less monthly payments, a lower down payment than they would have if they purchased this home on the traditional market. And again, our homes are really subsidized, so you're not going to pay what the home would appraise for. So when you go to sell your house, you're going to start with that purchase price of $145,000. And then we use the AMI while you have owned your home. So when this home was purchased, the area median income was $83,000. So when you went to sell your home, we estimated that the new area median income would be around $90,200, since Richmond increases about 2% every year. So in this scenario, over the 5 years that that person had lived in the home, the area median income increased by $7,000, which is 8.41%. And then we multiply your sales price by that 8.41%, which equals $12,200. So that equity would be $12,200 that your home increases in value. And then you get that money plus a down payment that you put into your house, plus any principal that you paid through your mortgage. And just to point out, this has not been the case so far, but just for a weird reason, if it happened that the AMI decreased, you are still entitled to sell your home for what you purchased it for. So you won't ever come out less than what you put in, but you will typically earn equity on everything. Oh, forgot that slide. So this is going back to this amortization schedule. So that homeowner who has accrued $16,205 just by paying their mortgage on time, that is also factored into the equity that you earn. So in the 5 years that this homeowner lived in that house, they accrued $16,225 just from down payment and principal. And they also, just from the increase in the value of their home, earned $12,200 for a total of $28,425 in equity. So if this person had been renting for 5 years, they would have spent almost $50,000 just in rent, but instead they've accrued $28,425. And this just kind of shows the difference between renting and homeownership through our program. So this model makes it possible to keep homeownership affordable for future families who may be in the same economic situation that you are in right now. So this is what happens when we price the home to sell after you sell the house. So we take that price of $145,000, the increase in $12,200, and that's how we can figure out what the home will resell for to the next homeowner. So that number would be $157,200, and that's what the next home buyer who's in a similar financial situation would be able to purchase the home for, which again is significantly less expensive than on the traditional home market. Do I have any questions? This is a home in Chesterfield for someone who was asking about that. It sold for $133,000 a few years ago. Nice ranch style home. Okay, if there are no questions, I'll go ahead and move into the fun part, which is the application process. But does anyone have any questions? Should I move on? Is there anything in the chat? No? Okay. We're going to go into the application process. So let's see. This is a flow chart that is on our website, very helpful, but I'll walk through it, which kind of just shows the process for our program. So you all did the first step already, which is attending our info session. The next thing that you'll need to do is to submit your application, which is on our website in a PDF form. And then you'll also need to submit your income documents. And so we'll get into specifics what those are in a bit, but that's how we determine your eligibility for the program. So we look to see if you're under that 80% of the area median income or that 115. So you can't be over that. So that's how we determine your eligibility for that program. Another important step of our program application is to take a HUD approved home ownership training. And so there's a number of options that you can do. There's classes through Virginia Housing, which is like our state housing organization. They have, and all these are free. They have a mixture of online, self-paced, and in-person classes. And then Home, which is Housing Opportunities Made Equal, offers home ownership training. And then they also offer once you complete that training, you can apply for home ownership counseling and down payment assistance through them. And then there's also options through Southside Community and Housing Development. And I believe that's all right now, but there's many options for your home ownership class. And you'll need to submit a certificate of completion when you have taken your course. So I know that you've taken it. And then the next step is to be pre-qualified for a mortgage with one of our approved lenders. And I don't think any of our lenders are on the call tonight. So I don't think anyone can answer specific questions about the lending process. Yeah, I don't see anyone on. But I'll get to that in a second, which are our lenders you can work with, because we have a specific list of approved lenders for our CLT homes, and you'll need a conventional loan for our program. So once you have a complete application, you are approved and you are in our applicant pool. And so one thing that makes our program unique is that it's not a first come, first serve wait list. Once you have a complete application, you're the same as everyone else who has a complete application, and that you can see homes that become available, and you have the option to put a contract on any house that you're qualified for. So again, if you're in the 115 program, you can't apply for an 80% home because those are reserved for the folks in the 80% program. But any home that you qualify for, you are able to submit a contract on that house. So you'll be alerted as homes become available. And once you get notified of a home as it comes available, you can arrange a showing with your real estate agent, visit the home. Sometimes there's an open house. Oftentimes you can just schedule a time to go visit the home. And then if you like it, you submit a contract, and you'll need to potentially resubmit income documents just to make sure that you're still within the income guidelines. And then if multiple people are interested in a home, the same home, we use our buyer prioritization policy. And that is a tool that we use to have the process be as equitable as possible. So it's not on the traditional market where the highest bidder gets the home. We're really trying to make this an equitable process. So we look at other factors and the whole applicant. So it's a bit different in that way to other programs or on the traditional home ownership market. Then you'll meet with an attorney and we go over your ground lease in great detail. You have an opportunity to go through our life planning documents. So your will, your medical directive, power of attorney. You can, if you don't have a will, you have the opportunity to create a will and plan that side of your life as you're going through your closing. And then you'll schedule your move-in, and there you go. So it's kind of a different process, but I'll get into some more details. So these are our lenders that currently work with our program. So you have to be pre-approved for a conventional loan through one of these 6 lenders in order to be in our applicant pool. And so they are Fulton Mortgage, Town Bank Mortgage, Department of Commerce, Federal Credit Union, C&F Mortgage, and Virginia Credit Union. And that link is on our website as well. So here are some more in-depth instructions for the application process. So the income documents that you'll need to submit, this is also found on our website, and you can find us on our application also. But we need 3 months of your latest pay stubs and or benefit statements for each member of the household over 18. And then we also need 6 months of your bank statements for all adults, all accounts, 2 of your most recent federal tax returns and your matching W-2s or 1099s. And then we need any asset records over $5,000. So that's, again, this can be found on our website or written on the application, but those are the income documents that we need to verify that you're eligible for the program. Let's see, I have Antonio. Do you have a question?
Yes, I'm going to change your name. It's supposed to be Sylvia. But yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
I had did that process that you're going over now where you submit the application and stuff like that. Like I have the application I've been sitting on there for a while because I didn't know where do I send it to, and I was looking for the information on it. Maybe I read it so fast I didn't see it. And I ended up calling someone that was in this, like there was a number on there, but she pointed me in a different direction that was not anything that did not have anything to do with the program. So I was like, okay, where do I send the application? I didn't know where to send it to.
We will get into that for a second. I'm sorry that you had that experience. We actually had our applications on pause for the last few months and we just opened them. So we will go into that information in just a second of how to submit everything.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Kiera Turner, you have a question?
Yes, quick question. I know you mentioned that 80% AMI homes are different than the 150 AMI homes. How are they different? Are they bigger or how are they different?
So it's really depending on a funding source and the locality that the home is in. So it's very specific to the home. There's no real like this home is better, this one is bigger. So I saw Flora come on, maybe you can want to answer this question with me.
Yeah, so the like actual size and layout of the homes themselves don't have anything to do with what income limit is used, like Elizabeth was saying. It just has to do with basically how we raised funds to subsidize the home. So it doesn't really have to do with the quality or the size or anything.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for example, I believe it's Chesterfield County will never have 115 homes, and all of Henrico County homes are at 115%. And that's based on the funding and how the county allocates federal funds. So it really has nothing to do with the quality, the size, or anything of the specific home.
Yeah, if you're curious, that's because Chesterfield County homes are funded by the federal Community Development Block Grant Program, and federal funds from U.S. Housing Urban Development always have an 80% AMI income limit attached to them, whereas the Henrico homes are funded by county funds, discretionary spending.
Thank you. Let's see, are there any questions in the chat? Oh, I see one. Oh yeah. Do you want to read them, Flora?
Sure. So there was Letitia had a question if there are any limitations for seniors 55 or better with no children, and no, there are none. We have lots of homeowners who are 55 and better. And then Christine asked if you already have the Home of Virginia certificate, homeownership education certificate, can you submit it?
I will say with that, it has to be completed within the past 2 years. But if it's less than that, then please send it on over.
And then if you have a spouse, do you do a separate application or is it a joint?
So for that, there's a space on the application where you can apply as a co-applicant. And this is a good segue for me to say that your spouse or partner does not need to be on the mortgage as well. So you can apply together as a co-applicant, but it's up to you and your situation if another adult will be on the mortgage.
And then I had a question about if someone doesn't have a great financial record, would that be a deal breaker, or will they have time and help to work on it? And if you need credit counseling, I direct you to Commonwealth Catholic Charities who work with on credit counseling.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, we won't disqualify you from the program, but you just may not get a pre-qualification. And in that case, our lenders they also have resources, and we have resources with our credit counselors or other resources. But there's nothing, I guess the only other thing would be, I can't think of anything, just that you can't own a home at the time of closing, then you would not be qualified. let's see here.
I was in response to the question if there was anything else that would specifically disqualify you. And the debt to income ratio is another thing that would be a lender.
Yes.
not
So your
us.
lender will go over that with you, your loan officer, and they'll look at all of those things and see where your numbers are.
I will
And then-
say, our lenders, I don't think are here tonight. At least I haven't seen them, but when we ask them what credit scores they like, they usually say, I just realized I haven't had my microphone down this whole time. When we ask them what credit scores they like, they usually say between, or like absolute minimum 620, and then like you're more likely if you have around a 680. So if you have like below, if you like know your credit score and you have like below like mid 600s, you might want to like check out Commonwealth Catholic Charities. So I can put that in the chat.
And then, yeah, we do need the entire tax return, unfortunately. And I can look at what specifically you have, and if it's not what I need, I'll be in touch with you individually. But Jerry, are you asking about like a non-filing statement? Like if you didn't file taxes?
No, if you go on to the IRS, they can give you a transcript.
Okay, yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you can individually reach out to me and show me what you have, and then we can go from there. Let's see, a question about, does counseling have the same process? So as far as I know, housing counselors and credit counselors will also want some of the same information that we ask for. So your bank statements, pay stubs, and tax returns, just to get a clear picture of your financial situation. So I would imagine that as you go through this process of collecting your documents, let's see. They are able to help through the process, definitely. And
if you're asking if the Commonwealth Catholic Charities people can help you with the MWCLT application, I think that we are more likely to help you with that. They have their own stuff going on, and we do this solely. So yeah, they can help you with credit, but we help you with the MWCLT application.
yeah, and I guess another resource that would be good is Home of VA. I keep mentioning them. Flora, can you send the link in the chat? So Home also has, in addition to their down payment assistance, they have home ownership counseling that is very inclusive of like your financial spending patterns, getting home ownership ready. And with completion of that, you are able to get more funding for your home. So you're eligible for down payment assistance through Spark funding, which is one of the programs that we are in, which is it decreases your interest rate by 1% by enrolling in the Spark fund. And that's something specific to our program. And that's a great opportunity, especially now that interest rates are so high. So in order to like be eligible for those assistance programs, you would need to go through a home ownership counseling session with an approved HUD approved home counselor. And so one of the options for that is Home of VA, and Commonwealth Catholic Charities has also a HUD approved home counseling organization. So either of those organizations can help you, like maybe not necessarily with our specific application, but they can help you with that whole entire home buying process. And Sylvia, do you have a question?
I did see a question about the credit bureaus and which credit bureau is used during the lenders. I definitely would defer to the lenders about that. So, you know, go to our website and find the contact information for our lenders and get in touch with them to ask. But I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that they ping all 3 credit bureaus and use the middle result.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And
Yeah,
then,
it's always the middle.
oh, great.
Thanks, April.
You're
April,
welcome.
do you know the answer to this next question? Working on credit, how long that usually takes? I guess it's really specific to the individual, but.
Yeah. So it depends on where your score is. At the beginning of the time you start working on your credit and, you know, the issue and how quickly you can resolve it. So if it's a debt issue, some people can resolve it pretty quickly around like tax return time or such, paying off that debt, and their score can jump up. But if it's something more serious or a bigger bill, then it'll take, of course, longer time.
Great. And so in terms of waiting and reapplying, we'll keep your application on file. And if we know that you're like proactively working on it and that you're still interested, you don't have to reapply completely, but we may need like some updated information as the process goes along, because some of that might not be accurate, like your most recent pay stubs and things like that. But we'll definitely keep your application on file if you're still interested while you're working on any kind of credit issue or anything like that. Sylvia, do you have another question?
I think that might be my mom. She don't really know how to work her phone like that. So I think she making a mistake clicking on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, just ignore it.
If anyone else has a question, Shamira, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So I probably missed it. I'm sorry for that. Just 2 seconds. I'm dealing with my infant. Does your credit score, how much does it have to be to get into your program?
So it definitely depends on each specific lender, but the number, was it 6?
It was usually when we ask the lenders, they usually say something like a minimum of 620, and then they prefer something closer to like 680 is what they usually say. But again, it depends on what lender, and you know, it's never a definite. So definitely,
Okay.
when you pick a lender, when you get in touch with them, just talk to them about that.
Okay, Flora. So basically I get to pick the lender, or can I pick all lenders and pick the best one that got me the best score? Because yeah, and you said the program, you said by the time, I'm not trying to make sure I get it right. Is it by the time you have something available, if my credit score meets the criteria, then I can pick or I can pass? Or if, okay, I'll let you answer that first. I'm sorry.
You're fine. So you will get a pre-qualification from one of the lenders first. And you can apply to more than one lender. It's just that you're going to want to do that within the span of 2 weeks. So like if you submit an application and they pull your credit with one lender, if you want to do the same with more lenders, do it within 2 weeks of that first one, so that it only hits your credit score once. Just a hot tip.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
But yeah, once you have a pre-qualification that meets our minimum amount, then, or you can be in the application pool, and then you'll get notified whenever there is a home available.
Okay. So basically, whatever your lender says, if I meet that criteria, then I get into the MWCLT home buyer program.
Yes.
Okay. So it's still all worth a shot, just going for it. Since I already attended the session, I should still fill out the application and go for it. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're fine. There was a question in the chat about pay. We consider gross pay before taxes, right,
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
And then how are overtime and bonuses counted towards the income?
So we do count those as well.
Right, but it's annualized, right?
Yeah, we calculate it specifically, but it technically does count to your household income.
Yeah. So like if you did like you know, if you did like 5 hours of overtime over the past like few months, we like average it out sort of basically and calculate your annual income based on that. But yeah, there's, I don't know. It's a very, the way that we calculate the annual income is kind of convoluted, but it works generally. And then Leticia, did you have a question?
I do. Okay, that one was answered. I was going to ask about the submission of the application. Does that go to a clearinghouse? So it doesn't hit your credit multiple times, and of course that decreases my total. It impacts my credit score. However, FICO, when you said the middle score, what is I'm not understanding what that means, because the sum of all is under the FICO. I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not understanding when you said the middle score.
So yeah, so this is not my area of expertise, but I think I understand, and that's that there's the 3 credit bureaus, right? Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
Yes.
And when a lender pulls your credit score, they basically get a score from all 3 credit bureaus, and then they take the middle score, basically. So like if there's a low, a high, you know, they'll all estimate your credit differently. And so the lender will take the middle one.
And
the FICO score, FICO is a company that basically does that process for them.
Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of the times I think the FICO score is just that middle score, like I said. But someone can correct me if they know better. I believe that's how that works.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you, April.
Yes. You have different credit scores. You have FICO, Vantage 8, Vantage 9, but the lenders use the FICO score. So they don't use the score you see on Credit Karma as such. So they stick with the FICO score, the true score of your from the credit bureaus.
So that would give me an idea of the middle score. That would give me exactly the middle score at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also saw you say conventional lenders. So I'm glad you still let us know the score. However, the my question is the individual. You said individual can they don't have to be on the mortgage, but we can include their income. I'm not understanding how that went. I don't think it was too detailed, but I'm just asking, what does that mean? You can have someone else, but they don't have to be on the mortgage.
I can.
But they go through the same criteria that I'm going through. How does that work?
So it's 2 kind of different things that you need to qualify for. So for eligibility for our program, we look at your entire household income. And so that would include any income of anyone in the family. So even if they're like a high schooler with a part-time job, like that money, I believe, would still count towards your household income. However, if you're applying for a mortgage and your partner has a very bad credit score, but you have a great credit score, they would lower your credit and maybe they don't need to be on the mortgage because then you can apply. So it's kind of two separate things. It's being eligible for our program and then being qualified for a mortgage.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Are there any other questions? Let's see. If no one has any other questions, again, I'll go through some last slides. So again, here's Flora set in the chat, but it's again right here, the link to Home of VA for home counseling services and down payment assistance. It's recommended to keep a file of all of the income documents that you have because you won't only be submitting them to me, but you'll also need to send the same documents to your loan officer and then to a financial counselor. So just get organized, get everything in the same place, and that will be much easier for you. It's recommended but not required for you to make sure that you're eligible for our program before applying for pre-qual with one of our lenders. So if you're over the income limits, you don't qualify for our program, so maybe you don't need to go through all of that process, but it can really, people enter our program with the pre-qualification already, have everything. It's really up to you. And there's no one size fits all journey through our program. Everyone has a different situation. Stay connected with us through our through your application process. So let us know how your pre-qualification goes, your credit counseling, home ownership counseling. Just communication with staff is great for us and great for you. And don't wait, apply now. Yes, Antonio.
Yes, I have a question. So does, say for instance, like if you and your spouse is applying, do both of us have to take the home buying course program that you were saying that you have to take? Like it was on here, where is that? You have to complete the home buying program to get the certificate. Do both of us have to?
So only one of you really needs to, but I would recommend that you both do it just because there's a lot of good information there. But for your application, if just one person takes it, that's fine.
Does it matter where you go take it? Because a lot of companies online.
Yes, it does. So you need to go through a HUD approved home ownership class. And the ones that we have, I believe it's on our application, or maybe it's in one of these slides, but you can take it through Virginia Housing, Home, or Southside Community Housing Corporation.
You said Virginia Housing?
What's that?
You said Virginia Housing?
Virginia Housing. Flora, would you be able to drop that link?
Yeah, I can get the links for all three of those and put them in the chat.
Great.
And also there will be a follow-up email after this session that has links to all those things.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'd say Virginia Housing has kind of the most options. You can kind of take it self-paced. It's like a 6-hour class on the weekends. They have an option. Home also has pretty frequent programs, and then I believe it's all on Zoom currently. So there's definitely options for in-person, Zoom, and kind of like whatever your specific needs are.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's see. We have a question about how to submit your application. So we are trying to move away from emailing income documents. However, our Google form is not up, which I'm realizing this needs to be updated on our PowerPoint. So you can email me documents. You can fax them. You can also drop them off in person, hard copy to our office. I will say if you're coming into our office, it's best, you can drop them off, but if you want to schedule a time that one of us will be there, just so we're sure that we get your documents, that's also a great idea. But you can do any of those. So I'll submit my email also to this. And all of our info is on the next slide, I believe. Did you have another question?
But right before I was about to say something, I was about to ask you, like, when you were saying that, you was like, drop. I was like, okay. So yeah, then you was like, to do the email, and you was like, I'm just gonna do it in a little bit. So I was like, okay, there we go.
Yes.
So
So all of our email addresses are on this page right here. I also dropped mine in the chat.
Okay.
Leah couldn't be here tonight, but Candace's email, I'm pretty sure, is just Candace at MWCLT. It's all of our first names.
It is.
Awesome. So you can reach us there. And I will just say that our website has a plethora of knowledge. And so a lot of your questions can be found on the website. But if you have any specific questions, I should put my phone number on here, but all of our emails are there, and then our phone number can help you reach me and April, Leah, and Flora, and Candace. Let's see, do you have another question?
Will you be emailing those numbers? I'm on my phone and it won't, I can't pull it. It's not going to.
Yes. Yeah, we will be sending out a follow-up email with all of our information and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you said Madge, I might not remember. My screen said Antonio Rivas, but it's Sylvia Howard. I don't know how I got stuck like that.
No worries.
But, okay, thank you.
No worries. Yep, no problem. Daniel, did you have a question?
Yeah, so I had a question about how I'm lucky enough to have a family that might help me with down payment assistance, and would that be calculated into my income? Or I know you guys already said like the way you guys do income is kind of pretty complicated, but how would a gift from a family member of cash go into any of this?
So that would be a great question for your specific lender. And then once they run the numbers, and it all kind of depends on the cost of the home and then what you're pre-qualified for. So I don't think I can answer like a specific question like that, but in terms of qualifying income, we only look at like what's in your bank account and then what your income coming in is. So if there's like a gift, we wouldn't, that would just have to be at the closing process. We wouldn't really know about that coming in. But I believe that that's something like very specific for when you're going through closing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the lender will tell you when to get and how to get the gift letter and all of that situated, and what you need to do for that person that's giving you the funds.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And then we have a question in the chat about how you're notified. So I will email you once your income has been verified, and then letting you know, and we kind of communicate throughout the whole process. So there's like specific documents that you're missing. Me or Leah, who couldn't be here tonight, will be communicating with you and letting you know what you have missing. And then once you qualify, you'll get like a confirmation email that you qualify for the program. And then from that point, you're able to go about the pre-qualification process. You're welcome. Let's see. We are just about over time. So I want, before people sign off, you're welcome to stay on for a few minutes if anyone has questions, but just to be respectful of everyone's time, we do a end of session poll or questionnaire. And this ensures that we have record of you attending this session to get credit for it. So Flora will roll out the poll and you'll be counted for attending the session.
Just to clarify, also, we do have record of you attending outside of this poll, and it's not required, but it just helps us like know how we did and see how we did and stuff. So please answer the questions if you see them on your screen. If not, don't worry about it. There are 4 questions, so make sure you scroll down and answer all of them and then hit submit.
We do have one more hand up. Chelsea, you want to come off mute?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my second time taking this course. But when should I receive the email with all of the information on it? Should I receive that the first time, or would I receive it at the end of taking the course?
I send it like every 2 or 3 info sessions. So if you just took one a couple weeks ago, I didn't send one after that one, but I will be sending it after this to the attendees of both of those info sessions.
Okay, so, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. So you will receive that this week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a good amount of people who filled out the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and say like 30 more seconds, and then we'll call it, and I'll share the results. Excuse me. All right, let's go. All right, so first question, are you planning on submitting an application? We have a bunch of people who said yes, which is very exciting. Some people said soon, so we will look forward to it. Question 2, true or false? MWCLT homes are fully inheritable. They can be passed down to your heirs regardless of income, as long as they will use the property as their primary residence. That is true. You can pass down your house just like anyone else can. And we have a life planning document clinic during the closing process where you can fill out a will and everything to say who you're going to lease your house to, and then have it notarized by me. Question 3, what equity will you get back when you sell your MWCLT home? Your down payment, the loan principal you've paid off through your monthly mortgage payments, your home's increase in value, or all of the above. 1 second. Sorry, I had to cough. The answer is all of the above. You get back all that stuff, your down payment, the loan principal you paid off, and your home's increase in value. when you sell your home. Question 4, how do MWCLT homes increase in value? Based on the market rate appraisal, based on the increase in the Richmond area median income, or they don't increase in value? The answer is based on the increase in the Richmond area median income. A lot of you didn't get this one, so maybe we will make it clearer next time, but your house's value, how much you can sell it for, is not tied to the market. So that's one of the reasons that these homes are permanently affordable, is that the market is always increasing, is always going up, and sometimes it goes down, and that's really scary. But generally, it makes homes more and more expensive and makes them harder and harder to get into for people of modest means. So instead, our resale prices are tied to the statistical average income of the Richmond area. So how much people are actually making at work. And that basically guarantees that our homes will always be affordable to someone making the average income, below the average income.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.
Great. So this concludes our info session. If anyone has any quick questions, I can stay on, but otherwise, enjoy your Tuesday evening, and our contact info is there. And then you can look for Flora's email follow-up.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks. You too.